How's it going, everyone? Today's video is going to be a different type of video where in today's video, we're going to be going over the top 3 things that require you to be successful within the crypto markets. Now, again, I am someone who has been experienced with crypto for 4 years now. However, this year I've seen the most success, and I'm just going to be giving the things that I've seen others who have made millions of dollars in crypto, what they have been doing and what they preach, as well as what I've seen work myself. These are, again, going to be the top 3 things that I believe if you instill and actually apply, you are going to find success within the crypto market. So just because of the state of the crypto market right now, there's really nothing much to update on, hence why we're not making a crypto market update video as we usually do. This is strictly just a video on the top 3 things that I see cause the most success within crypto. Now, again, none of this is financial advice. Do your own research, etc. That's something I always got to say at the beginning, just in case you take things too seriously and believe that what I'm telling you is law, which it really isn't. I'm simply going over my point of view, which is something that you can consider and look into more. So the first thing, and this will be the number 3, I would say, this is going to be to understand when to take profits. Now, if you are someone who's been in crypto or has just gotten into crypto, understanding when to take profits is ultimately going to be what makes you successful. Especially if you are starting off with a small amount of capital, slowly building up a decent portfolio is going to require aggressiveness, however, calculated risks and profit taking. So you have to combine all of that together in order to be able to slowly grow up a crypto portfolio that is decently substantial to the point where you can get to 6, 7, and potentially even 8 figures. And of course, I'm nowhere near those marks. But again, I have seen 7, 8 figure crypto millionaires, and I have touched around 5 figures. I mean, a lot more than 5 figures myself, approaching 6 figures. So this is where I'm going to be going into my experience with crypto again and just understanding profit taking. So I was in the 2020-21 cycle. I watched myself actually make a nice little bit of money. I'd only invested in like $200 and it was approaching a nice amount for just investing that much. And I essentially round tripped. What that means is I watched my portfolio go from around 200 to I think it was a 3-4x, and then it fell back down to 200 and actually went below my initial investment, and I ended up actually selling for a loss. And there's actually a reason for that we will be getting into in another tip. But the reason, again, I could have literally just had a nice profit-taking approach, set limits, and I would have been fine. I would have not lost a single dollar had I set limits for myself. And I'm going to tell you guys exactly how to do that. What do I mean by limits? I mean limits where into this year specifically with a coin like that of Ski Mask stock, where I've seen the most amount of profits myself, I went from a triple where I decided to take my initial out at a triple. Now, of course, if I would have done that, I would have been up a nicer amount. But let's say Ski Mask stock went up a triple and then it went to 0. Well, I would have had my initial out. I would have lost a single dollar. And this is applicable to not only spot trades, but also perpetuals as well, and stocks and crypto in all facets. Profit taking is always something that should be done, especially for short-term investments. Now, with that in mind, again, there's going to be a ton of different profit taking strategies, but what I found to be most effective for me in the crypto space is I would aim to take your initial out at a 2 to 3x. This is going to set you up with a very nice cushion. So let's say you hit that 2x, you sell your initial out. Well, then all of the money left in there is essentially free profits that is considered house money. That's a term that a lot of people like to call it. Therefore, if it goes to 0, you technically have not lost a single dollar. Whereas if it goes in moons, another 10, 20x, you still have that profit. But again, you never had the risk of losing your initial. assuming you got in at a really good time and it pumped. Because again, you could enter in really high at a project, it crashes down, and we'll get into something how to combat that as well. But then you end up realistically just missing out on any chance to make profits. But again, another thing you should do, if let's say I had my bag in ski mask stock, I got in around 3 cents. I took my initial out at a 3x, which would have been 9 cents. And then I decided to set profit taking. So this is where you can go into things like TP1, TP2, TP3. You can set this for yourself. So take profits and stop losses are also something that you should do as well. But again, taking your initial out at a 2, 3x, you essentially can just set take profits with your profits, if that makes sense. So for example, let's say ski mask dog went to 15 cents. Remember, I took my initial out at 9. Well, then I'd trim a little bit of my bag, maybe 20% of my bag at 15 cents. Therefore, not only have I taken my initial out, but I've also taken profits out as well. Let's say then it goes to 30 cents. Well, then I trim another 20%, et cetera, and then let's say it gets to $1. I trim everything but 10%, and I let the rest of the 10% ride. If it goes to 0, it goes to 0. If it goes up, it goes up. That is a strategy that can work very well for you. It's going to ensure that you are taking profits, and it's going to ensure that you are going to be one of the very few that end up profiting off of the crypto market. And I myself have already taken profits and am more profitable than I am in terms of my initial investments. Within the whole span of the year, I've taken out profits that, as well as my initials from everything I've invested. So I am profitable as of now, unless I decide to invest more. I've succeeded within the crypto market in that sense. And people see that. And I honestly say any amount of profit within the crypto market is impressive because of something we're going to be covering at the number 1 spot, which I feel like is the most important, where we actually did a video on that yesterday. So definitely important to understand when and how to take profits. Realistically, do not be greedy. Be logical on your profit taking strategies. That's going to set you up for the long run. And that leads us into number 2, which is getting yourself access to so much information that will allow you to succeed. Now, that's very, very broad, and I understand that. But I strictly mean simply get into communities and get in connections with people who have either found success with crypto or there are others trying to learn as well. So let's say I am someone, and I'm going to use Kaizen as an example for this because this is literally what's helped me to learn a very nice amount of information, as well as helped me to get access to a lot more opportunities. Again, it will be linked in the description below. And I know I'm going to hear people saying, oh, just another Kaizen guy. I am speaking genuinely. I've had sponsorships I've turned down, etc. But I'm strictly speaking from a standpoint of I honestly just recommend things off of the value that they provide. For example, Kaizen is $200 a month. If you are looking to be in a group where there's literally millionaires in the crypto market, meaning their bags are totaled up over $1 million in crypto alone, not regarding their other investments, you have access to top tier analysts. That's going to allow you to get access to so much more information where they're analyzing projects, they're analyzing perpetuals, etc. You'll be able to get in early on these things, and not only Kaizen, but other groups as well. Telegram groups that, of course, aren't scams. You have to be very careful with all of that because you can lose a lot of money in the wrong places. But doing your own due diligence to even just connecting with someone, sending them a DM, doing things like that, getting yourself connected with people who have access to so much information that has changed their lives, and surrounding yourself. It's literally just networking. Networking is the name of the game within the crypto cycle. It's going to be a way for you to be honestly miles ahead of other people, because I have friends who are connected with me who I've given advice to in terms of crypto, and they have found success, which I love to see that. Like, that makes me so happy because I feel like brotherhood's lost. I'm going off a tangent here, but networking is very, very important. it is the only thing that's going to push you to higher and higher levels. If you want to be a 7-figure crypto investor, you need to be putting yourself in places where you are talking to those people with 7-figure net worths in crypto. For example, when you see the entirety of the crypto market realistically saying, oh, things are going to the fan, et cetera, but you see 90% of the people that you know who are millionaires in crypto saying, nah, this is nothing. We have green skies ahead of us just off of our analysis. Like, how can you argue with people who are in the position that you want to be? So that is a very big point that I definitely wanted to cover, because that's allowed me to learn a lot of useful, valuable information. And also, it is just the tip of the iceberg for me. I've so much farther to go in terms of networking, but I heavily up there in my values. I mean, as you see, this is number 2 on the list. I believe that if you can focus on all the things on this list, you will find success with crypto. Let alone just doing the profit taking, you'll be fine. But of course, having access to that information where you're finding projects early and getting information to even how to find projects yourself. Again, and there's so much for free out there also. So that's number 2. And finally, number 1 is learning how to control your emotions. I basically did a full video on that yesterday, but I love to talk about it again. So learning how to take control of your emotions is going to stop you from round tripping. It's going to have you taking profits in a logical manner, so you're always in the green. Of course, not always, but you're going to have a very high success rate because you're treating it as a method of, okay, how can I mitigate as much losses as I can while maximizing the most amount of profits? And so what happens a lot with emotional investors is they will essentially buy in at highs as they see a crypto pumping, then they'll buy in on the pump, it will dip, they sell, and they will continue to repeat that. And for a coin like Ski, for example, I've literally looked at the deck screener of some wallets who are trading 5 figures, who literally will continuously buy high and sell low, continuously. And it just blows my mind. I don't understand what the purpose is, because they are consistently losing money off of a simple ideology factor. And again, we've explained numerous times in this channel how markets operate. They operate off of emotions. So in order to beat that, in order to be a market that operates off emotions, you need to understand how the emotions impact the market and how you can best suit yourself for dealing with others' emotions. And so you really, if you want to find the most success, you have to stop and just let your emotions go and come at this with a purely logical standpoint. Understand, like, separate yourself as a person from investing and really take a whole, I guess, just a wide picture at the market as an emotional machine that you really just, divide a bunch of emotional investors in. You separate yourself from them and understand what you can do to profit off of these people. And that's literally another way to find success. So then once you take your emotions out and only leave logic, you're going to make far fewer mistakes and you're going to have a lot more profit to be taken. So that is honestly it for today's video, guys. I think this is a very, very big value video, especially if you apply every single thing we talked about today. If you want to see more about emotions, we talked about that last video, but I do genuinely think this is the biggest value add I have on this channel. I know some of you guys might disagree with some of my projects that I talk about, et cetera. But again, this is going to be something that I think anyone can benefit from, regardless of your viewpoint on a project or not. So definitely feel very happy making this video, because I do feel like this could definitely help people who might feel lost within the markets right now. And with all that being said, I'll see you guys later.